Sophie in the Facebook group said this, and it prompted a heap of responses and got us to where we are today doing this episode. As a mum who works full-time, has 3 young kids and a husband who runs a business, I'm so time poor. Do you have any hacks/time savings things that you've implemented to help? Even if it saves you 5 minutes or was an initial outlay that cost money to begin with. And there was heaps of responses there, and I thought we'll jump on and chat about it today. I am joined by Rachelle Kroon from This Is Property. Welcome back to the main stage.
Thank you.
Hey, reading through this list, and I think I will say we've broken it up into like shopping, cleaning, automation stuff, food, laundry, kids, some mental stuff and other little things. I think a lot of this is how, like, everyone's busy, right? And the weird thing is, and you've probably found this in your own life, kind of the busier you get, you actually find your capacity increases to get more stuff done.
Yeah, if you want something done, ask a busy person to do it.
And it will get done. So, I mean, any initial comments of this? And I think I will say, there was plenty of blokes in the group as well who said, I'm a working dad. And so this isn't just, money hacks for mums or anything like that. But any initial comments before we get into it?
Yeah, Sophie, I can completely relate. And I think a lot of people can. And it isn't just mums. I think more and more it is both people working. And we have this environment now where both people have these big jobs and we have these children and people are time poor. And I think the amount of people that jumped on and discussed it with you shows how many people are in the same boat.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking some of it is, can you buy your time back? And you might not be in a position to buy your time, but you might be able to do some other things that we're going to discuss today. Before we do get into it, this episode is brought to you by Sphere Home Loans. They're a supporter of the show. I'll do a bit of a live read while you're here, Rach. Rach is the founder and director of Sphere Home Loans, and thanks for supporting the podcast. But, hey, if you are in the market for a new home, an upgrader, a side grader, a downgrader, anything, if you haven't had your mortgage looked at by your broker in the last year, well, one, go back to your broker. But if you don't have a broker and you've gone direct to a bank, maybe you need to have the team at Sphere Home Loans to have an initial chat. And your team will talk with any of our listeners just to shoot the breeze to see if they can help.
Yeah, and even just to tell them that they're on the right track.
Yeah. So we're big believers in mortgage brokers here. We're pro-mortgage broker, and you don't have to go into the branch. You don't have to do it online because everyone has got such unique circumstances. So that's why we thank Sphere Home Loans for supporting the podcast and all of our listeners. Let's get into it right now. My name is Glen James, joined by Rachelle Kroon, and this is Money, Money, Money. You're listening to Money, 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 or as the regulars like to call us, M3. Everything discussed on the podcast is general advice only, which I'm licensed to give, and details can be found in the show notes. My name's Glen James, former financial advisor, now podcaster. I host this show and a show called Retire Right. I've also got a book called The Quick Start Guide to Investing, which you can check out wherever good books are sold, or there's a link in the show notes. Otherwise, thanks so much for listening today. Now on with the show. Okay, well, I reckon this is more of a financial hack than anything if we start with like this shopping and groceries little segment. Brandon, Erin, Kate and Corinne said basically use Woolworths or Coles online delivery or click and collect to save time and avoid impulse buying. And Kate said it costs her about $4 a week, but it saves so much mental energy. Have you done much with this, or are you a traditional go in and shop?
Other than my fruit and veg and my meat, which I get at different stores, everything I buy from Coles or Woolworths is online, and I have done that since COVID. I don't have time or the energy to go into a shopping centre.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about this, I basically now do it myself. Most of my groceries I'll do online. I got an email the other day from Worth. I think I pay $130 a year or something for the delivery, which is weird. I must do it outside of their times or something because I always get charged on top of that. But anyway, it's a really good way when you are shopping to a budget because you fill your cart up and you can go, yeah, I've only got X amount to spend, and you can just add it there. And before you click checkout, you'll know there's no surprises when you get to the counter. Like it's a really good way to save time and money.
Yeah, and it also allows you to, when things are on special, to bulk up on them.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to carry them around in your trolley.
Yeah. Erin says, this is interesting, use the shopping lists in the app to streamline. So that's probably the same thing, create a list in the app. I know I'm more of a Woolworths guy than a Coles guy. I know it has like a literal list thing in the app. So just use that. I don't know. This is simple crap, but it will save you so much time doing the delivery or even the click and collect.
Yep. And you can also look at things you've bought before that are on sale.
Yeah. But did you know, Rach, there's actually parts of the region or the major cities, did you know like Coles and Woolworths actually have supermarkets that aren't for people to go? They're like in a warehouse. It's just for online delivery and click and collect.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So this is a real thing, and I think maybe in years to come you won't go into – oh, you probably will, but all I'm saying is it's a real thing, and there are warehouses that are just click and collect sites that you do your ordering and they pack it and you rock up. Yeah.
It's just so convenient.
Yeah. And it doesn't really – click and collect doesn't cost more.
No.
Like,
not if you do it in the right times.
Yeah, like why wouldn't you do it? But it goes back to planning. And if you plan, you'll optimize every part of your life.
Yep.
What's Michael and Simon saying here?
Michael and Simon says, get essentials like soap and detergent from Bunnings or subscribe for delivery, e.g. Amazon.
It was funny. I didn't want to say it, but I will because I think it was a bit cheeky. Did I say Michael or Michelle?
I think you said Michael, which is
Michael.
why I was like stunned.
Maybe I know that Michael is French.
Ah.
Oh. Either way, one of them said in the group, buy it through Bunnings and let the business pay for it so it looks like stuff for work. Now, I'll say one thing. Any mental gymnastics that you want to do to avoid tax, you can do that gymnastics all day long and you can pay for it in your business or claim it on tax all day long. I could go down to Kakadu now and buy is it Kakadu or what's the Anaconda?
Yeah.
Sorry, whatever. And buy a kayak and claim it on tax. I can do that. The thing is, if you get a please explain or an audit, you'll get screwed. So I don't think we're buying stuff through Bunnings to look at so the business pays for it. However, there could be some optimization there with the scale like the Costco play.
Yeah.
So you're buying in bulk. Actually, my current washing machine detergent, a big bottle of Omo, is from Bunnings.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting personal now, isn't it?
I have about 23 bottles of Omo detergent in my cupboard at the moment.
Are you a top loader or a front loader?
I'm a front loader,
Yeah.
but when it's on special, when it's half price, I will go to town.
Yeah, and well, that's the same like with the dishwasher tablets, right? They cost $1 million. Just never, and that's a golden rule for shopping and groceries. Any of the big ticket items that are, you see them on sale every other month, just wait till they're on sale. I do it with the detergent, dishwashing tablets. I do it with those Mount Franklin cans of soft drink because they're like, without on sale, they're $20. When they're on sale, they're half price. So I think, yeah, being planned. But I don't know. For me, the Costco thing, the only reason I've got a Costco membership is because I like to go and have the soft serve and the pizza.
I've never been.
Oh, you got to go. Well, we'll go one day. There's one up at Bullaroo. It's probably only 15 minutes from here. It's wild. It would probably suit you because you've got like 15 boys practically living at your house, there's just way too much bulk for me. But it's really good if you had, those big staples that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a good one. Do you want to go to Janelle?
Janelle says shop fortnightly after payday and rotate who does the top-up shop.
Right.
Yeah, the top-up shop's big.
So the top-up shop, is that like your fruit and veg, not the staples?
So if you do a big shop, so a lot of people do a monthly shop or a fortnightly shop, but there's going to be a top-up shop. And that might not include, meat and bread and fruit and veg, but, just a little one that is in between. If you're going to do I do a monthly shop.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do a little, it's always going to be a little top-up. So I understand exactly what she's saying there.
Yeah. And then Michael said, and there was a heap of people who talked about this, and there's another section on food that we'll get to, meal planning so you know what to buy and avoid daily dinner decisions, and I'll have more to say on that. So, look, at the risk of being the most boring podcast episode on the planet, all this stuff, it's pretty boring and basic, but what I want and why I wanted to do this episode was it's just a time in your week where you might spend 45 minutes with us thinking about things, how you can re-optimize, or you got out of the habit of doing click and collect. Well, from today, you're doing click and collect or home delivery. Simple as that. This is an interesting one. There are so many people. Sam Roisin, is that how I would pronounce that? I think it's a Gaelic.
I would not dare.
Roisin.
Let's say Roisin. And apologise if we're incorrect.
Yeah. Tiffany, Kim, Jason, Celeste, Corinne, Sarah, and Michelle again, Michael. They've basically said, they've all said this, hire a cleaner. It's a sanity saver for young families. That was the underlying thing. But this is the dance, and not everyone's going to be in this position, Rach. There's a cost to that. And this is probably one of those things where you can buy back some time.
And what do you enjoy doing? Now, I'm in a position now where, yes, I've got a cleaner, but even when I was in my early 20s but working full-time with a small child and probably wasn't in a financial position to have a cleaner, it is something that I did invest in when I probably couldn't really afford it in my budget. But I knew that it made me sad to clean toilets when I had worked a 50 or a 60-hour week and I was a mum, and that was really hard. So the things that make you really sad, don't do them. You need to outsource them.
But if you've got the money.
If you can afford it.
Or if you can't afford it, well, the money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah, but I think if you're both working and you've got 3 small children, a cleaner should be a non-negotiable for your sanity.
If you're both working.
Yeah, because they are both working.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's for Sophie. Actually, I'm pretty sure, Sophie, you live in Newcastle because we've answered one of her questions before about career changes and whatnot. If you are in the Newcastle area and you need a good cleaner, just DM me to the Money, Money, Money podcast one, because I don't really respond to DMs to my personal name because I need some type of boundary in my life. I'll give you my cleaner's details because they're fantastic.
Yeah, great.
But I think for me, what I've worked out, and this might resonate with you, Rach, or our listeners, I think my type of personality, there's 2 types of households. I'm moving my hands like I'm Trump. You people, you're getting a little bit dirty. There's 2 types of households. Well, there's probably 3. I'll go with 3. I'll pick on my sister first. My sister takes after my mum and my aunts on my mum's side of the family. We are talking minimalist, no clutter, no anything. I'll drink my drink, halfway down, put it down, I'll turn around, come back to get it. It's already gone and put away. Like borderline anal. My sister's house, there's nothing there. It's this big, beautiful house. And I'm like, let's get some character in here. So there's that type of house. There's the other type of house that is cluttery, got stuff everywhere, but not filthy and dirty.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's the other type. You're a freaking pig, you bunch of pigs, and you need to clean up, declutter. What house are you?
I am probably the minimalist, except for my wardrobe.
Yeah.
Everything has a space and it goes there, and I'd have no clutter.
Yeah.
Clutter, I don't like clutter at all.
So for me, I'm definitely not the dirty one. Like if my toilets need doing and the clean, because they only come once a fortnight, or if I go away and I skip a week or whatever, I'll clean it myself because I just don't do filth. Like you've probably noticed the studio here.
Very clean.
It's like I don't live in filth, right? But I think I'm the minimalist, and reality is I'm a clutterer. So the only reason, because I actually like cleaning, like I'll put a podcast on or music in my headphones, vacuum, mop. I can do my whole apartment in less than an hour. It's awesome. Don't mind doing it. It doesn't, like I don't hate it. But the only reason I pay for my cleaners to come fortnightly is it makes me declutter and put everything away. So
clean for the cleaner.
Yeah, so it's an accountability thing. And it's a bit, I don't like to say I'm OCD because that when people say that or it's this or that, we've all got traits of stuff, right? Doesn't mean you've got that. But even I joke with my friend Haley because we're the same. Before I go on holidays or whatever, I clean the house up, empty the bins, and I joke and go, house is clean because at least if I get broken into, it's going to be clean and not stuff everywhere. How embarrassing. So, look, I just want everyone to think if there is one way, and I'm not buying back my time, I'm buying accountability and decluttering. Maybe it's a thing once a month or I don't know. It's such a two-edged sword because our parents would have a stroke if we said we pay for a cleaner. Oh no, your parents are probably younger than mine.
Yeah, see, we had a cleaner growing up.
Oh, okay. How are those lofty heights up there?
No, and not, that's not, my dad was a baker. Yeah. We certainly weren't wealthy, but it was something that they put as a non-negotiable.
Yeah. So, look, if, and it's a thing, it's like it's a cost, and some people are, I'm not paying that if I do it myself. Okay, well, do it yourself and shut up. But if it is, for example, busy life and all that, I don't know, is it something you can consider? That's all we're saying. And we'll swing back around to that cleaning thing. Odit said, get a lawn person and outsource other physical chores. So this isn't, the Rachel show, but or the Glen, it kind of is the Glen show.
It is your show.
My photo's on the cover, and I know this is a pretty loose episode, everyone, and we just want to kind of, just hang out and encourage you to do stuff. Again, nothing groundbreaking here, I'm aware. When I had my property, so when I lived at Blue Bay, there was a little yard. When I was at Merriweather, I paid a lawn person. For me, it was because I think when I first moved out of home, I made the deal with myself. It was a dumb deal. I'm never owning a lawnmower as long as I'm on this planet. Just because I'm like, I don't love it. I don't want to have to worry about I guess you get electric ones now, but I don't know. For me, that is literally buying my time back. And this is it, I'd rather rot on the lounge and do nothing than mow the lawn. So in that instance, I would pay a lawnmower person.
Yeah. And if you're both working, these are things that are going to become necessities to be able to get some of your time back.
Yeah. Yep. And Celeste chimes in again, more for the business people. And this is a good one. And maybe we'll talk about this more on the business podcast. And if you have not been made aware, This Is Business is the business podcast that I do. It's back. We've got a heap of episodes loaded up. We're doing fortnightly drops. It's a really good business podcast for small business people. Kayla Miles is hosting with me. We've got another host coming, so there'll be 3 of us doing different topics and episodes. And because I am passionate about business and small business. But so if you are in that kind of startup businessy phase and you're like, oh, it kills me. Because I did it myself when I first started the business. Saturday morning, used to get paid fortnightly. Saturday morning, I would be in there doing my own bookkeeping, and it was just sucking the life out of me. And if you do need a good bookkeeper, you can Google Zest Bookkeeping Solutions, and Amber and the team will help you out. So, yeah, don't do stuff in the business. And that's more of a business decision, right? I'm literally paying for this task to be done to free me up, to free my energy up to do other stuff.
Yeah. As soon as somebody becomes self-employed and there's a dollar value on their time, you really need to consider what your time is worth doing.
And I think for me, I was talking to who the other day about some stuff in in the relationship world, and it was like I always talk business terms in relationships, and it's like, is there synergy here? But but for me, I think I've just latched onto something. What you said before, it's like your household budget and your household is considered an entity with money coming in and money coming out. And like a business, we want to make sure there's money left over at the end of the month, week, year, quarter, or whatever, right? So for me, back to that bookkeeper thing and back to your toilet thing, when I was doing the admin stuff in my business and the bookkeeping stuff, I lost all motivation to be a functioning business owner.
Yeah.
Because it sucked the life out of me.
Yeah.
So, if there is something, and I'll share a bit later on what I've also implemented that was sucking the life out of me around this productivity hacks and whatnot.
Yeah, great. So moving on to automation and subscriptions, Kylie, Amy, Lisa, Rachel, Camille and Kim say use robot vacuums, robot lawn mowers and appliance timers. Amy also uses large laundry appliances with self-dispensing
detergent. So, and this is cool because this was this optimizing, right?
Yeah.
So obviously she can go, we'll put this on, got the whatever thing, can go and move on, doesn't have to think about it again.
Great.
Do you have a robot vacuum?
I don't, but you asked me about this not long ago.
I did.
Have you got one now?
Yeah, I bought one the other day for here.
Have you used it?
No, it was an impulse. It's still sitting in the box.
Excellent.
But what I was thinking was, to set it up in the studio or more the kitchen area. So like every couple of days it can go around and suck the floor and mop it. It's a D-Bot X8 or something.
Ooh.
I mean, but this was the thing. I'd thought about doing it. I've got my uncle and auntie, Kay and John have got one. Carly and Matt have one. Chris and Beth, my good friends, have one for their home. They're good until they're not, the robot stuff. So when I say they're good until they're not, I was talking to was it you that was telling me that someone had the robot vacuum and the dog
With a dog?
pooed?
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was just vacuum. And maybe that was early technology. It's like
So they were away.
Yeah.
And it went all over the house.
Gosh. So look, for big open areas, again, but this is the thing. I think I paid $2,200 or $2,300 for the one that I got because it sucks and wets or whatever. It could be an investment. So maybe if you are thinking about the robot vacuum, and like anything, the technology is only going to get better and better and better. And I have almost thought about using it at home to help me declutter, but I kind of like the accountability for like all my bathroom bench clutter and all that with having someone come in. The technology is really good, and that is one way that could just wake up to a clean, mopped house.
Nice.
Because Chris and Beth, they put theirs on at 2 a.m. every morning. Like, why 2 a.m.? Like, oh, whatever. They sleep through anything, and so do the kids. But again, that's a cost.
Yeah.
Which not everyone is in a position to do it. This was an interesting one, which I hadn't heard of. Kylie, she uses Amazon stuff and a detergent subscription.
I've never heard of a detergent subscription.
I'm just going to Google that now. Detergent subscription. Yeah, I mean, you can get subscriptions for anything. I think that's probably okay, the subscription thing, because it could scratch the itch for the cost could actually be cheaper than buying off the shelf at one of your supermarkets. You'll never run out because it's always going to, like if you are using it regularly, it's going to come and that could make your life easier. I don't know. What do you use subscriptions for anything?
No, for
Like
nothing.
not for physical stuff?
No, nothing.
I tried that Who Gives a Crap
Yeah.
delivery paper and the paper towels, toilet paper and the paper towels.
Some people in the office use that.
Yeah, I don't know if I love it, the type of paper, but again, it's disposable, so also who cares? But it comes in a really big box.
Yeah, and it's good for the environment.
Yeah, well, that's I think why I did it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Jace uses ChatGPT to create meal plans and grocery lists.
Ooh, we as a species, I think I was saying it like a dickhead. I don't think we lean into the AI assistant stuff as much
Yeah.
as what we need to and what we could do.
It is not something I've considered ChatGPT for.
Well, let's try.
And I'm a meal planner, so that's great.
Okay, I'm going to try it live. Meal idea for busy woman named Rachel. What do you like? What's your main protein that you like?
We're chicken. We love chicken.
Need a couple of chicken dishes / meal plan, no more than 4 ingredients
Ooh.
each. Must be low carb
Low carb.
and yummy.
I don't know what you can do with 4 ingredients.
Well, let's see. I've got a cookbook at home, 3 ingredients or less, which I've never used. Creamy garlic chicken thighs. Ingredients: chicken thighs, skin on for flavour. Garlic, fresh or jar. Thickened cream or coconut cream. Baby spinach.
Yeah.
Brown chicken, chuck in garlic, splash of cream, simmer for 10 minutes, toss in spinach right at the end, done. Tastes like effort. Isn't.
And then it creates a grocery list, and then you put it through your click and collect or your delivered, and you're done.
Spicy chicken lettuce wraps. Ooh, I'll buy it. Chicken mince, soy sauce or tamari, chili flakes or that word.
Sriracha?
Yeah, that one. Iceberg lettuce cups. Cook mince with soy and chili, spoon into lettuce, blah, 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 under 10 minutes, add some sesame seeds. I mean, that top chicken one, you can just put that on a bed of rice, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So, look, we can lean into this stuff. I had a chat with ChatGPT the other night, asked it some issues that I would ask a psychologist, and it really helped me with one of the prompts. But don't worry, everyone. I booked in to see Luke again, my psychologist. So, look, we've just got to lean into stuff. And I know this episode's pretty naff, and is naff a word?
It is.
Yeah. But just what can you do in your life? The challenge is, can you change one thing after listening to this episode to up the ante? Okay, this is where I wanted to talk, and this is getting really cool. Continuing on, I guess, on the food thing. Oh, no, I missed a section. Where are we? Cleaners and outsourcing, we've done that. Okay. Automation and subscription. Sorry, having literal stroke in front of everyone's eyes. And Amy and Kylie said, recurring reorders for coffee, toilet paper, dog food, etc.
Yeah.
But this is the catch, guys. As a business, you want people on subscriptions because you've got guaranteed revenue coming in. It builds the value of the book, the business, basically. The trick is it's good value until it's not. Like your gym membership. When was the last time you went to the gym? Rach?
This morning. At 45, 6 a.m.
Do you go to Tuggerah?
No, Tumby.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Just down the road. While you're using subscriptions, they usually provide great value. But the minute that it becomes a forgetful thing, you're going to be wasting money and it's going to be not good. So that's kind of fully for subscriptions and all that automation stuff. But if things get out of sync before you know it, I'm actually about to do a big cull of my digital subscriptions. Big coal, Rach.
Yeah, and there's so many things you don't use, and you can just go on to the Apple thing and just monitor them pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay. We were at the meal prep section. Nell, Amy, Nina, Tracy, Michelle B, not the other Michelle, James, Anthea, Christina, sorry. Batch, cook and freeze meals or sources for future use. Stick to simple recurring meal plans. Actually, a friend of the podcast who I follow on Instagram, she's into health and weights and actually not being Glen, like actually working out and stuff. The training that she's doing, the meal planning, and I get this, if the shoe fits, the shoe fits, right? She'll plan on the Sunday night, every day for lunch this week, I'm having this meal.
Yeah, I'm all for meal planning.
Really?
I still meal plan on a Sunday and I meal prep.
Yeah.
And if I do it, I will save money and I will be more health conscious.
Yeah. And that's it. It's so compounding because if you look, imagine if your house, and that was the point I was going to make before, when my house is decluttered and nice, it just, nicer. Like, so imagine if your house was regularly nice, even once a fortnight.
Yeah.
You had order, systems in place, meal planning, your money is optimized, your space is optimized. So it's not like, I think it does impact your mental health, all this stuff.
100%
Because
it
if it
does.
spirals out, one thing pulls another thing down.
Yeah. And meal prepping is a big thing because you know what you're going to eat every day. It's a huge part of your life.
Yeah.
Tracy says she does it on a Sunday and gets the kids involved.
Yeah, but she preps lots of snacks on Sundays. So what did you used to do for the kids, like do they still call it little lunch?
Recess?
Recess.
Recess.
We call it little lunch. Or
So
recess.
I would probably make something on the Sunday that would be for everything.
Yeah.
And I did do a lot of the foods from scratch, so just that sort of thing. But it was something that I enjoyed doing. I enjoy cooking, so it's something that I can give my children that I love. If I didn't enjoy it, I'd be very happy to outsource it.
Were you ever a thermi mum?
I am still a thermi mum. I love my thermo.
They're freaking expensive though, aren't they?
Yeah, but I bought mine 15 years ago.
Wow, and it's still going.
Yeah, we have a really great relationship with Thermo and I.
Yeah. But that's it. And that goes to the investment when Sophie at the top of the episode said, well, what's something you can invest in? Well, the RoboVac could be a really good investment. The Thermomix. I did order a, what are those air fryer things?
Yeah.
Remember I ordered one because
Yeah.
I've got the trays here. Anyway, they didn't send the order, so I cancelled it on Amazon. But then it was cheaper on sale, so I'm just going to reorder it cheaper. But not that I don't know if I will because I don't really cook heaps. Nina said marinates meat before freezing, and she writes a weekly chore list. That's interesting. I'm more productive in life. So see over there at my desk, there's a paper thing.
I see it.
If I need to get dialed in and get some work done, of a morning I'll come in, write down all these really weird random tasks, write it down and got on with it. Just something with that pen and paper.
Yeah, tick it off. Moving on to laundry and cleaning. Jenny, Jace and Kylie all say use washing machine timers overnight and fold laundry once a week in a folding party. Woo!
Okay. Washing machine timers overnight. That's a good hack. I've done that recently. I put it on. I set it on my I think they all do it. You set it when you want it to finish by. I set it finish in 9 hours time or whatever that is, and it's good for me because in my apartment the laundry thing is out front of my bedroom, so it's a good alarm clock as well. When I hear the washing machine spinning, I'm like, oh, it must be 7 a.m. But there are a couple of things there. Any power that it uses is going to be off peak anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an interesting one.
Jenny and Kylie say prep school uniforms and lunch boxes in bulk to avoid daily repetition.
So what are we doing there to prep
So I
school
guess they're
uniform?
doing with lunchboxes. Maybe they're doing all, like I said, doing the recess on one day for the week and have it pre-done.
Just on the meal prep thing, because we were talking about this over lunch, like my biggest downfall is my food.
Yeah.
Like I don't love cooking. Like if people come over or if I have a dinner party, I'll throw on a roast, I'll do the potatoes, I'll cook a nice roast, happy to do that. But for me, it's almost that, using your business mind for life. For me, it's not worth spending 35, 40 minutes cooking something when I demolish it in 8 minutes or less. And then it's like cooking at home, you end up putting stuff in the oven that's crap. So what I've done now, and they're in the fridge here at the studio, there's a company at Erina on the Central Coast, they deliver to Newcastle and Sydney called Activate Foods. Sunday night, put an order in, I get 8 or so meals delivered. It arrives here Monday morning, 8 a.m, put all of them in the fridge, lunch taken care of, and dinners. So tonight before I go home, I'll have a look at the food. All right, what do I want to cook? Yep, I want this Balinese nasi goreng tonight. I'll take that home. So for me as a single person, and maybe you don't have kids, and they do family meal plans.
Yeah, we use them.
Yeah. And look, again, I think could work out $12, $13 a meal, but they're really healthy, they're portion controlled, they're high protein, and the shoe fits for me. And they've got family servings. And then I'm looking now just as a week on or week off alternative, looking at like a U Foods or something I've seen just for the variety. But Activate, they do have the variety. But yeah, I don't know. I think for me, that's the hardest part in my life is deciding what to throw in my mouth for lunch and dinner.
Yeah. So I really, like I said, I enjoy cooking. But this week, for example, was a really big week for me where I had late meetings every night. And I knew I would have that. So I didn't Activate Foods order on Sunday. So I had a family meal for every day this week. So I'm not cooking this week.
Yeah.
But that's something I've budgeted for, knowing that this is one of my biggest weeks of the year.
Yeah.
It's not an everyday thing, but for me, it's just nice having the alternative. And now if I was trying to meal prep on Sunday, knowing the week that I have this week, I can't do that. It's just mental load. That's too much.
So I just think it's just one of those things. But people love doing meal preps. Do the thing that you love doing and optimize that, or just outsource it.
When you've got the capacity to do it.
Yeah. And I think this is, we will need to keep moving along. But if you're in a relationship and so I've got friends, maybe, I'll be very vague here. I know one of them, I know there's 2 or 3 kids, maybe 2. They both work. He'll go home, play PlayStation, get into red wine. And I'm like, and I only know this from, because they're in our broader networks. But if you're someone maybe like, and this is very dangerous territory that I'm walking on, but if you are someone like Sophie who's a full-time working mum, and even hubby runs a business, both people are working hard. Amen, I get that. It's not one person's job to be the 1950s housewife.
No.
Like, get off your freaking ass, put PlayStation away until the kids are in bed or whatever. And it's easy for me to say because I'll probably be lonely and single forever, but I'm just like, conceptually, are you not a team? Even growing up, friends of mine or friends of the family, mum and dad's friends, someone was like, the husband said, "Oh, I'm not doing that. It's your job." And she's like, where is the rule on the planet that the dishwasher is my job? Like, we both live here. We're both adults. So that's just a little tickle there. If you're in a relationship and you've partnered up with old lurch who's lurching around and not carrying their weight, like, come on. We're both busy. We're all busy. Everyone's busy. Is that too much?
I think it's great, but I think having conversations about it is important. Let's sit down and talk about it. If you feel like you're, carrying the load for your partner, female or male, sit down and have a conversation because you're just going to burn out and argue if you don't do it.
Yeah, communication's the problem and the solution, right? We'll be back to end this train wreck right after this.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are, they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au. And they'll point you in the right direction.
Okay, look, we're back. Again, we're just chewing the fat. If you do want to join our Facebook group, if you're new to this podcast, just put where it says, where did you hear about the Facebook group, put episode 8, whatever, put the episode number, because we know you won't be spam. All right, kids, chores and routines. Alicia, Simone, Tamara, Jenny, Kylie and Erin, they pretty much said, getting kids involved with age-appropriate chores, give them set tasks and build routines. Now, what did you do growing up? Well, you were an adult when you had your younger kids. Well, you still got a young family.
We've still got young ones, yeah.
How do you guys pluck this chicken?
Look, we probably, when I compare with my friends, we probably don't have the kids doing as many chores as some of our friends do, and that makes me feel like I probably should be doing a little bit more. But our boys empty the dishwasher and take the bins out and clean their room. That's it.
Congratulations, boys. You've done well. As long as they lift their feet up when the cleaner goes past with the vacuum. I remember a lot of the afternoons I would mop and vacuum the floor before Mum got home.
Oh, that was lovely. That would be nice.
That's what I mean. It's in my DNA. I like cleaning. I just get cluttery.
Yeah.
And I need the accountability. Yeah, okay. So did you ever, I don't know. Allow me to tell everyone how to parent their kids. But I think that's it. It's like, it's age appropriate, surely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's what do you want to instill into your kids, Rach?
More jobs. Kel says, say no to unnecessary volunteering, limit extracurriculars and get kids to pack their own bags and make breakfast.
Ooh.
I love that. Say no. We had a cake stall at the school recently and I was all stressed out about what I was going to do and I picked up a massive box of donuts and just left it there. Judge me all you want, ladies. I did not have time to bake cakes that day.
Oh, I thought I said no, stuff you're not going.
No, I just put, with all the homemade cakes, I put a big box of Krispy Kremes on they sold like hotcakes.
I went to a dinner one night, like bring a plate. I'm like, all right, freaking 12 pieces of KFC chicken incoming. It's a favourite. This is interesting. Say no to unnecessary volunteering. Now, if we're trying to optimize our time, our life, our purpose, and I've been guilty of this because I'm a helper, I want to help everyone. I got sucked into a thing thinking I was helping someone and ended up being hours on the phone every week. I was helping someone with an issue who did have some needs, but I'm just like, what am I doing here? I don't actually have the capacity for this. And it's giving me anxiety spending an hour and a half on the phone to a company trying to deal with this stuff on this person's behalf. I'm like, yeah, noble intent is awesome, but you need to live in reality. You can say no. And someone asked me something the other day, oh, hey, can you do this? I said, I'm really sorry, I can't. Don't have the capacity.
Yeah, boundaries.
Yeah, which I don't have. I'm learning. Okay, Tamara, this is a good one.
Use a day of the week drawers for school clothes. I have not done that. That sounds like a great idea, Tamara. There is nothing more stressful than when it's rugby day and we're running out for the door and we don't know where our clothes are. So, yeah, day of the week.
Do you get the kids to make their own breakfast of a school morning? You can plead the fifth.
I usually make their breakfast.
Oh, right. You're the softest mum, but I love it because I don't care. It works. Fun. Are you awkward?
Yeah.
Good. Alicia also said, add chores to the daily routine. Even toddlers can help.
Yeah, toddlers.
Hey, buddy, do you want to help mum with their MLM? Come on.
Pick up toys.
Yeah. All right. Or this is the actual boundary section. Brandon said, this is great.
Lower your standards, prioritise what matters, and ensure your partner shares the mental and physical load.
Like I was saying before.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's the mental load, which I think traditionally females, even if we're both working, that's where women tend to get caught up in carrying all the mental load.
Because imagine if you were in the situation where you were partnered up with Lurch and they didn't do anything. Imagine just knowing that you had a chat and they're like, yeah, I'm on board. I'm going to step up.
Yeah.
It would just be groundbreaking.
But I think even for people who have partners that do share the physical jobs equally, both work, both do the physical jobs, it can tend just traditionally, and this is something that you need to work on, is it goes to the female for the mental load. The school's calling the mum first.
Yeah.
The invitation for the party goes to
The
the
mum
mum.
does the life admin.
The WhatsApp group,
Yeah.
the dads aren't on that as much. And, that's obviously changing, but it's something to just be aware of, that mental load.
It's interesting that, isn't it? Like it is a societal norm. Yeah, because all the friends, I was actually, how I said I was awake at 4 a.m. this morning and I was rolling around in bed and ruminating. I was actually thinking about this episode, and if I know in my mind at 4:30 a.m. rolling out, I was going to actually text all my friends' wives, which are my friends as well, and be like, who here handles the household admin-y stuff? And the really close friends that I know, I reckon most of the women do.
I think you're right. But in the last school holidays, I messaged another mum to say, can our sons get together and have a play date tomorrow? And she replied with, my husband is dealing with this as I'm at work.
Amazing.
Great boundary. Loved it. And I just thought, it's such a great thing. Have that boundary to say, you know what? Why did I message her first? Why did I not message him? I've got both their numbers in my phone. Great.
Yeah, it is crazy because, it's just, but is it a natural proclivity where the mum wants to step up and organise and be the contact at the school?
Yeah.
I don't know. At the risk of getting cancelled, I don't know. It's weird. Like me growing up, I know when I'm sure of it, if I had to get enrolled in primary school, it wasn't Dad doing it.
No. But things for the conversations.
Yeah. Carla. Ooh, I actually like this one. Set arbitrary rules to create space. Example, no laundry after 5 p.m. Ditch the should mindset. One scheduled weekend day helps with mental recovery.
That's great, Carla.
What I do as well, and we had talked about it on another podcast. Have you ever been in the position where the dishwasher's full and clean and you can't be bothered emptying it and the sink's filling up with dirty dishes? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Or are you just saying yeah?
I'm saying yeah.
Okay, cool. But it's so what I do now is this whole thing about layering tasks in the house and in our life. So if I want to put one of my meals in the microwave because the meals I order, they come fresh and they go in the fridge and they go and I zap them for 3 minutes. While that 3-minute timer's on, I'm like, I'll undo the dishwasher. Well, I'm just waiting here anyway. So I put those small tasks because we think, oh, such a big task, got to empty the dishwasher. You set a timer, it's empty within less than 3 minutes.
Yeah. Killing the time.
Got to go somewhere, doesn't it? The time.
That's right. Kel says be okay with saying no more often.
Yep, agree. Glen with 2 N's. I'm Glen with 1 N because I'm single. Do less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda recommends reading Laura Vanderkam for time management strategies.
I've never heard of that.
Have you heard of that? I have not.
I'm just going to Google this. Well, chat GPT it. So I just said, what are Laura Vanderkam's main strategies for time management? 1, track your time. 2, plan the week before it starts. 3, use mornings intentionally.
Oh, I love that.
We'll get back to that. 4, think in time blocks, not to-do lists. Yes. 5, kill time wasters without guilt. There's nothing wrong with relaxing. The problem is when it's not intentional. Social media, binging shows. Oh, I'm going to stop because I'm getting convicted here. 6, outsource, delegate, simplify. 7, build a list of 100 dreams from her book 168 Hours. We'll put a link for her book in the show notes. I might actually read that. I need a bit of a kick up the arse.
Thank you, Linda.
Laura Vanderkam. I'll see if she's actually Australian, and secondly, if she's heaps famous, you won't be able to get her on the podcast. Yeah, she's an American, Princeton University. Oh, it's got 16,000 followers. I might see if I can grab her.
She might come on.
Yeah. Or I'll maybe see if when I'm in America in September, do a remote in her time zone or something. Yeah, that's a good one. I was even thinking last night because I've got to edit this book. Because if you have been a listener, I'm re-updating Sort Your Money Out and Get Invested. I was thinking, I went home last night, walked in, it was freezing, put the heater on, got on the lounge, watched the last 2 episodes of Blue Bloods ever, at me, whatever. It's just my background show. And then had dinner, watched the news, and then, that's the highlight of my life. But I was like, that's so interesting. I basically rotted on the lounge for a good 90 minutes, 2 hours last night when I got home. I could have been at my desk working.
Yeah, but you obviously need to rest as well.
And that's the dance, right? Like we use so much wasted time, but is it? Or, I don't know. Maybe I need to go easy on myself.
Yeah, you need that time to recover.
But I don't have a hard life, so I don't.
You have a lot on.
Yeah, but I carry a lot. Maybe I carry more than I think I do, and I don't know. I just feel I've got no excuse for anything in my life.
Yeah, I disagree.
But I've got standards so high of myself that I can't keep. Okay, we'll make a thing. I'll try and get Laura on because that would be a really cool episode. Let's round it out with some other random time and or money savers.
Jace says lock in fuel prices weekly with the 7-Eleven app. That is WA specific.
Yeah, I don't think that is. I think you can do that here.
Okay.
Yeah, I use the fuel app in New South Wales pretty much every time I need fuel. Just open it up, where's cheapest. At the moment, you're seeing swings of 20 to 30 cents for premium. So
I don't fill my car up. That's one of my jobs.
Does the Prince do that?
Prince does that for me. I don't like putting petrol in my car.
Yeah. He's a good man, Andy.
Todd says get up earlier. Quiet hours are productive.
If you're a morning person.
You see, you're not a morning person.
Oh, I'm barely a person.
Between 5 and 9 are my most productive hours of the day.
Well, what is it? It's 2 p.m., it's 2:15 now. I'm revving up like 2:30 to 3 to 7 p.m. Like we'll do another episode. You'll take off. I'll get in the zone, look up, it'll be 6 o'clock. I'm like, oh, I actually need to go. I have to make myself leave.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Okay, this is the creme of la creme la crop or whatever. And this is an interesting discussion. Again, it's not for everyone, but it does obviously have benefits, trade-offs and all that. Ashley says, consider an au pair or demi-pair. What the hell's a demi-pair?
I do not know what a demi-pair is. But she does say no cash exchange needed, but I was under the impression that an au pair, you do still pay them, just a smaller amount while they live in your home.
Okay, here's the differences.
What's a demi-pair?
Au pair, full-time helper with kids and light housework, 25 to 35 hours a week, childcare, school runs, light housework, the accommodations provided by the host or family, usually their own room. They get pocket money, typically $150 to $300 per week, depending on the hours and country. Best for families needing solid support during the week or working parents. A demi-pair, part-time helper who's mainly here to study, work hours, 15 to 20 hours a week. Same type of duties. But, yeah, the payment is
no
usually
cash.
the free accommodation and food. So that's actually... Okay, let's unpack this a little bit because the risk again of being tone deaf, and there are a lot of people that listen to this show who are on hundreds of thousands of dollars a year income. Like that's just a fact. But the fact is, there's also a lot of people who listen who are just starting their career and might be on 100 or 80 grand a year individual incomes. So it's not for everyone. However, what if you had a young family? And you might be in a university town like Newcastle.
Yeah.
You had a spare room or a granny flat or something like that. I don't know. And you got the demi-pair to like, hey, you can stay here and rent-free, all that stuff. We'll feed and water you, but your job is here. Like go get a job if you want, but earn your keep.
Picking up the kids, doing a few light meals, a little bit of exchange. And if you've got the space and you don't mind another person in your home, why not? A lot of my friends have au pairs, the ones with smaller children especially. And when they've both got big jobs, that's something that is a necessity for them.
Yeah, I think that's, again, it's not everything is for everyone, but it's been a fun little chat, to say the least. Do you have any closing comments or anything that has stood out to you from all these?
Well,
what would you, if we go back, what I'll do, Rachel, I'll read Sophie's question again, then I'll throw back to you. As a mum who works full-time, has 3 young kids and a husband who runs a business, I'm so time poor. Do you have any hacks / time-saving things that you've implemented to help, even if it saved you 5 minutes or was an initial expensive outlay to begin with?
Yeah, well, I would just say, Sophie, you've got a lot of tips there from the Facebook group. There's a lot of great tips there. And if you do just implement a few of those, it would be great. But I think having a conversation and doing a plan like with your partner, let's sit down and plan about what of these things we're going to implement and what other things you can do to save time is a great thing. But I think that actually planning it out is the most important thing.
And you can almost gamify it and, all that habit loop stuff. It's like, okay, after dinner, we're going to spend 15 minutes, so like that time block thing, put the dishes away, do all that, 15 minutes, fold laundry, then we're going to watch the latest show on Netflix together.
Yeah. And
let's both do it together, or I don't know.
It's a tough time of your life when you're both working and you've got 3 small children. Now, I talked about having a cleaner when I had 1 small child. I couldn't afford that. This is a time when I was not going to the hairdresser. I was not having any other luxuries, but I prioritized that cleaner because I needed that time. So I think if you look at your priorities, what can you do to save your time? It's so precious.
Yeah. And I would say to Sophie, clearly you are not alone. Everyone in your situation, young family, full-time jobs, everyone's going through this stuff. So that's why, I want to know, maybe someone put in the Facebook group after we put this episode up, I might do a discussion thread or something like that. I'll get the team to remind me or we'll schedule it. What have you implemented after today's lesson? Because you only need to implement one or two things and it can just change your life. We'll leave it there. Thank you so much. If you found this episode useful, I say that because I'm like saying all this stuff. I'm like, oh, this isn't the most amazing content, but I've enjoyed it for my own life.
Yeah. And I just think so many people have shared these things. It's obviously helped them.
Yeah. So, share it with a friend or family member. And if you want to hear more from Rach, she's on This Is Property, our property podcast. Until next time, thanks, Rach, and thanks everyone for listening. Bye.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services license 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.